Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Business Talk, podcast presented by Business West and sponsored by Greenfield Cooperative Bank. We've got a great show for you today. Our guest is Meg Talbert. She's the Executive Director of Dakin Humane Society. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us.
So I've talked to you a few times over the years. It's always great to talk about Dakin and the good work going on there. I always lead off by saying I'm a dog person, so I just really appreciate the work you do. Before we get into the nitty-gritty of what Dakin does and what the needs are and how the services are evolving, tell me a little bit about your background and how you wound up there. I know you had a background in nonprofit management before you wound up at Dakin.
I've spent my entire career almost in nonprofit management, and I can't believe I've been at Dakin for 3 years now, and it's just gone by so fast. It's just an incredible place to be. But I've been in Springfield now, almost 9 years, previously working in social services and housing for wayfinders. So okay. I made a lot of great connections, met a lot of wonderful people and partners here in Springfield in the Pioneer Valley, and I had the opportunity to come to Dakin, and it's like a dream job. I love it. Absolutely love it.
How did that opportunity come open, and what was it that specifically that drew you to want to work there?
I honestly got a call from a recruiter who had, been looking at people with nonprofit background, and she called and said, "Will you take a meeting?" And of course I said, "Dakin Humane Society, I'd love to take a meeting." So I didn't necessarily have a ton of technical animal welfare background, but coming from social services, other human related work, knowing that yes, we work with animals, but there is people attached to those animals. Mm-hmm. And that's really where I come at things from, is making sure that we're serving the families, we're serving the residents and the communities that are living with animals and need our help here at Dakin.
Here's a question that'll probably take a while to answer, but please take your time.
Sure.
Tell me about all the different services you offer. I know there's adoption and fostering and all kinds of things. So tell me kind of about the range of what you're doing there, which is such great work.
Yeah. So a lot of times people think about Dakin and they think about adopting a cat or a dog, and that's where you go to adopt. But it's also where you can go to have your animals spayed and neutered. It's where you can go if you are a family and you're looking for a vet. We have our pet health center, which is open for 3 years now, that sees owned cats and dogs. So just like any other vet clinic, you can come to Dakin to get annual care or sick care for your vet or for your dogs and cats. And then if you need resources or advice, we're here to help answer any animal-related questions for people that are sharing their homes with four-legged friends.
Yeah. Tell me about, I'll kind of break some of that down specifically. Tell me about the adoption process, how people would go about adopting, what types of animals you're getting, what the need is, how many you're seeing.
So we're close to doing 3,000 adoptions this year, probably surpassed 3,000 adoptions this year.
Wow.
Yeah, it's incredible. And what's really amazing, too, is we have a very short length of stay for our animals. So if people really do come, they see a kitten online or a cat online or a dog, and they can either email us or call us, or they can just walk in Tuesday through Saturday, 12:30 to 3. We love to have people just come. They may see an animal on our website that they're particularly interested in, or they may just want to meet the animal that's going to match with them that day. So we really want people to feel welcome, to come down, but always encourage people to look at our website first, because those animals that are listed on our website are changing literally hourly. As animals are coming in, as they're seen by the vet, and they're being posted for adoption, these things change throughout the day.
Is the phone number's on the website, right?
Absolutely. 413-781-4000 is our main number. But also the best way that you can get in contact with us, too, is to email us at springfield@dakinhumane.org. And we're very quick to get back to people.
Yeah, and what are the walk-in days for adoptions?
Tuesday through Saturday. So starting at 12:30, usually wrapping up by 3:30.
Okay. And how are dogs and cats coming to you? Is it local people that need to surrender? Is it rescues from across the country?
It's a mix of both. So Dakin always prioritizes local first. So we want to help residents throughout the Pioneer Valley if they need to surrender their animals for whatever reason, or they've had a litter of cats born, or kittens born in their home, or a litter of puppies, and they want to surrender to Dakin. People's lives are complicated and they change. They could have housing loss. They could have job loss. People call. My mom is sick in the hospital. She's not expected to return home. We need to surrender her cats. Those types of things. That's what Dakin's here for. But also, in the meantime, because we have such amazing adopters and such a network of people coming to adopt from Dakin, we're also able to do transports from different areas of the country. So down south, where they're still dealing with a lot of dog population problems, we have transport partners that we work with to bring dogs up when we have room and space for Dakin. So people can call us. What we usually try to encourage people, if you need to surrender an animal, please try to call and make an appointment, talk to our counselors ahead of time. But we also are open for walk-ins. People have emergencies, they walk in unexpectedly. And that's, I'd have to give a shout out to the team at Dakin who's just ready for anything. Any day that door opens at 12:30 and we don't necessarily know what's going to be coming through the door that day. Although we do like to plan in advance when we can.
You have a fostering program, right?
We do.
Who does the fostering?
People from all over Pioneer Valley who want to spend some time with a cat or a dog. Typically, sometimes we have fosters for small animals or birds as well. But people that have some room, some space in their homes, they may have cats and dogs of their own. They may not. But we do a lot of counseling with our foster families to make sure that those animals are integrated slowly into the home and see how they're doing every day.
Sure.
And what we want people to know about fostering, it doesn't have to be a long-term commitment. You can foster an animal for several weeks or a month, or you can foster an animal for just a few days over the weekend, and it matters to that animal to be out of the shelter. We come to the shelter every day. The shelter is a warm, welcoming, fun place to be. But for all of our animals, that's not their end point. So even having a dog come to your house for 2 or 3 nights is just a break from that everyday shelter life. And we actually learn quite a bit about our animals in foster as well, how they are in a natural home. Or do we have a couch potato on our hands? Is this dog, getting into things? How is he or she walking on a leash? Those types of things is great information to learn.
Or they might react differently to children and adults or men and women, right?
Yeah, and we do a lot of that testing prior at Dakin. We do dog-to-dog meets. We see how they interact with men. We try to get a very good history from their previous owners, but that's not always possible. And, sometimes we're dealing with animals that have very little history, and that's what our behavior team and our experts at Dakin are able to determine.
You mentioned up top about 3 years ago, what did you characterize as a clinic or a
pet health center.
Health center. Tell me what the need was, how that came about, and why there was a need for that.
A lot of people are having difficulty finding veterinary care every day, either wellness care or care when their animals are sick. And we wanted to create a place where we could have accessible, affordable care for people in the community. We work with people to explain what could be going on, the options for treatment, for diagnosis. We want to make sure that people are comfortable in the choices they're making about their animal's care. Sometimes what we'll get is a new patient coming in because their animal is unwell, and then we like to maintain that relationship and hope that they're going to come to us continuing for wellness care and understand the importance of wellness care annually, so that we can kind of get out in front of those problems.
Nice. What are some of the other ancillary services at Dakin? I trying to remember what I saw on the website when I was looking at. Is there a pet supplies program?
We do have
a bunch of things.
We have a thrift store, which is a great place to visit. All of our thrift store is volunteer run, which is an incredible opportunity for us to have pet-related items. So people that are coming to Dakin for any multitude of services can come and find really affordable cats, collars and leashes and dog toys and dog beds, all one-stop shopping through thrift. And all of that goes, money that is raised through thrift goes back to support our program services. We also do a pet food aid program to help people if they're having difficulty. Most recently with the government shutdown, we saw an uptick in people that were needing help, needing assistance with food just to get them by for a few weeks. We do a pet loss support group as well, which is all online, and for people to come and join a Zoom to talk if they've had some loss and they want to learn about how to get that through that loss, or learn from others about how they're dealing with that loss. So, the full scope of services that we provide is something that we want people to really recognize, that if they have an animal in their homes and they have questions, they need help, resources, we're here.
That's great. You're listening to Business Talk, a podcast presented by Business West and sponsored by Greenfield Cooperative Bank. We're speaking today with Meg Talbert, the Executive Director of Dakin Humane Society. We've been talking about all the services you provide, whether it's adoptions or fostering or the vet care or the food aid. Are these needs growing? I mean, like year, I seem to, and it's probably not just Dakin, but other animal welfare organizations as well. It just seems to be what I'm seeing is that the need is growing.
You know, people are dealing with a lot in their lives. So the need is always going to be there. And I think it's up to Dakin to make sure that we have enough resources, whether it's staff, money, space, to respond to those people in need. We are an open admission shelter. Somebody comes to us for help, we're going to find a way to help them. So our growth is certainly, within the walls of our building. Yes, we have so many spaces for animals in care, but our ability to have foster homes and have new people fostering for us just allows us to move animals from the building into foster care until they can be adopted. So it wouldn't be without the generosity of the folks that support Dakin, our incredible staff, and certainly all of our volunteers, whether those are foster volunteers volunteering in their home or the volunteers that come every day, whether it's to walk dogs or feed the cats. We have volunteers who work in our administrative offices. We have volunteers who greet people coming in the door. So it's a huge network of people that makes Dakin be able to say yes when people come to us with a need.
Is there always a need for more volunteers? Can people reach out and say, hey, I would like to be involved in this as well?
Absolutely. And there's so many different days of the week. There's so many different volunteer opportunities. There's volunteer opportunities that are remote or, things that are once a week, several times a week. So we love to hear from people who are new in volunteering, and our volunteers are part of our family. We're all in this together. It's great for the way that our staff works with our volunteers and that we're able to support them in their growth. We have volunteers that have moved from, advancing their skills with cats and dogs, or people that come in simply to do enrichment with the animals that are in our care. And it means so much to our ability to care for those animals and make sure they're getting all the things that they need, not just medically and food and water, but behaviorally while they're here at Dakin.
Sure. I know that you and the team are working on a kind of a strategy for the next few years. How do you see the mission or the services evolving? What does 2026 look like? What are some of the things people can expect to see develop at Dakin?
Well, one of our goals is that you're going to see Dakin outside of our walls of our facility a lot more. We do an amazing job when somebody crosses through those doors and seeks out our help, but we want to be more present in the community as far as being at community events here in Springfield and in the Pioneer Valley, but also working with human service and social service agencies so that they have contacts at Dakin that if they're working with clients or families that are struggling, they can reach out. Or we might be able to get ahead of a problem with a family might be having with an animal a little bit more upstream if we have those relationships and we're a little bit more present outside the walls of our building. So that's been a big goal for us. We're always looking at how we can help support our staff and volunteers in their growth, their skill development. We want people to be learning every day. Our staff are just an incredible group of people, and we want them to have opportunities that they feel that Dakin is investing in their personal and professional growth as well.
It's fantastic. I know, it's been kind of a theme the entire year. Whenever we talk to nonprofits, it's been a really tough year. A lot of funding sources are drying up. It's been kind of a crisis mode for. How is Dakin funded, and what kind of sources do you rely on? And have you kind of experienced some of those same anxieties?
We have experienced those anxieties, and we have seen a change. We understand that people are having to make some choices, and honestly, getting calls from donors that say, I've donated for you every year for the last X number of years, but I'm having to cut back, but you're going to be back on my list when things change for me. So Dakin does not get any government funding, so we are all funded by individual donations and private gifts, foundation gifts as well as the services, adoption fees, and those types of things for our animals. But we are so fortunate that people do think of us, whether they're donating items that we need. Recently we had a situation here in Springfield where we took 100 cats from one single home.
Yep, saw that.
And the response from the public and just, what do you need? send us your gift list or your wish list, sending food and litter and all sorts of things. Just, gosh, we even have people sending food to the staff to say, you're dealing with this unexpected situation. Here's some pizza for the staff, those types of things, which is just incredible. So we have seen a decrease in donations, and we are struggling in that way, to make sure that we remain present, that people know what we're doing. And people feel really good that their gift is being used wisely when they give to Dakin, and that, they're helping animals, but they're helping people too. And that's really important. That's always the message that we want to give.
So the message that I'm getting is that you can always use more volunteers. You can always welcome more donors if people want becoming aware of what you're doing and say, I'd like to support that. Should folks just go to the website and seek information? And what is the website?
Yeah, so the website is dakinhumane.org. And yes, everything from volunteering to ways to give. If people have certain ways that they, really interested in projects we're doing with cats, or really interested in giving to something that we're doing with dogs, they want to help us make capital improvements. They want to help us send staff to training. There's so many different ways to give, and we love to talk about our work, and we love people to feel really engaged. I gave to Dakin, and I know where my gift is going, and I know it's being used wisely, and we have a great group of people, and everybody's really proud to say, come on in, welcome, let me show you around. And we have donors visit all the time, and we have a lot of fun. There are some very difficult things that we deal with Dakin every day, and then there are some things that are just so joyous, and laughter. We go through the whole range of emotions every single day at Dakin, and I hats off to our staff and volunteers who walk into their work every day, not knowing what the day is going to bring, but they join together and they work together to take on whatever the day brings.
I know it's just one donation of many, but I saw on your blog you had highlighted recently a 10-year-old who had a lemonade sale and raised $1,000. And the only reason I bring that up is because it just seems to me that no matter who you are, where you are in life, that there's something maybe you can do, whether it's just volunteering or whatever you can do to support. It
is amazing. The kids that do the lemonade stands, or the elementary school up the street, they we call it the annual marching of the littles. So the little 6-year-olds come down with their roll of paper towels or their little thing of cat food, and we have them over there. And that's what is so powerful about working at Dakin. I like to be down there when the doors open at 12:30, and you see the families coming in, and sometimes you see little kids that they're so excited, and mom and dad has told them sit on your hands and be really good, or we're not going to get a kitten, and their faces are just lit up. And that's another thing that is on Dakin's list for the next couple of years. Not necessarily, we can't obviously have little kids learning, but bringing in whether it's high school students or college students that are interested in veterinary field, becoming a tech, becoming an animal resource counselor, becoming a veterinarian. Dakin has so many opportunities for learning for young people who are thinking about an industry in animal welfare, and we want to be a resource for that here locally.
Kind of moving close to the end now, and I think you've probably answered this a little bit with every answer you've given me for all these questions, but just to tie it up, how gratifying is this work to you? What do you enjoy most about it, I guess?
For me personally, it is my job as executive director is to make sure that our staff has what they need.
Yeah.
Our staff are absolutely incredible, our volunteers as well. So every day when I go there, I ask staff, how's it going? What's your day looking like? Is there anything challenging? I ask them sometimes, what weird thing happened this morning? So I want to be fully informed with making sure that we are always one step ahead of what the needs might be, that we're thinking as a team about how we can support each other. So if I'm doing a good job, that means our staff and our volunteers have the resources they need to do the work that they do and what their expertise is in.
That's great. So yes, is there anything else that I didn't ask that you think is important for folks to know about Dakin and all the work that goes on there?
Just come down and see us. We have a great place to visit. We have lots of animals. As I said, new animals every day. Sometimes we have animals that won't even hit the website before they're available because they're adopted so quickly. So think of us as a resource when you need to adopt, or if you're having difficulty, or if somebody in your family is struggling with anything with their animals. Call us. That's what we're here for. We're here to help.
That's about all the time we have today. Thank you so much for joining us on Business Talk.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
And thank you all of you for listening. And thanks so much to our sponsor, Greenfield Cooperative Bank. You can reach them at greenfieldcoop.com. I'm Joe Bednar, the editor of Business West, and we'll see you next time.